I'm Annabelle Knight, and today I'm going to be making Christmas biscotti because it's approaching Christmas and everyone loves biscotti. It makes a great gift because it sounds really fancy, but it's actually surprisingly easy to make. So I'm going to tell you everything you need first. So you'll need to line 2 baking trays, they're over there, get a wire rack out, preheat your oven to 180 degrees, and make sure you've got all your ingredients to hand. So we've got 350 grams of plain flour, 250 grams of golden caster sugar, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of mixed spice, 3 eggs, coarsely grated zest of 1 medium orange, and then in this bowl we've got 50 grams of blanched almonds, 50 grams of pistachios, and 100 grams of mixed fruit. You'll also need a mixing bowl and a hand mixer, or a posh KitchenAid one, but I don't have one of those. So like I said before, biscotti is really easy to make, and it's absolutely fantastic because it keeps for up to a month after you've made it, and you can freeze it for up to 2 months. So again, great for if you're making gifts. So take your mixing bowl, and then the first lot of ingredients I've got over here, so you just bung it all in. Then give it a good mix. So in here we've got the golden caster sugar, the plain flour, the mixed spice and the baking powder. Make sure it's all nicely mixed. It should look a little something like that. Then just make a little well in the middle and crack in your 3 eggs. And a zest. Now you're going to need to bring this together with your hands. So I like to make a claw and kind of do a digger dumper action. Now form nice big clumps. You want to make sure they're quite even. And then you want to bring it together properly with your hands. So this is where we're making the dough. And it does take quite a while. It's fine.
Okay.
When you brought it together properly by hand, it should look a little something like this. You can see it's a nice squidgy dough. Then all you need to do is pour in all your dried fruits and nuts. Don't chop them, leave them all whole because you want to get that lovely cross section when you slice into the biscotti. So you just need to push it about a bit, make sure they're in nice and evenly. It might seem like you've got absolutely tons of dried fruit and not enough biscotti mixture, but it will go in, it just might take a little while. So if you just want to punch the nuts in, like I'm doing, no, don't really, do it nice and elegantly. Okay, so now we've got everything combined and it looks like that, and I think it looks absolutely yummy. Now we need to turn it out onto a lightly floured work surface. That just stops the dough from sticking everywhere. Put a little bit on your hands as well, just to make it nice and easy. Now you need to divide it into 4, and we're going to make a nice sausage shape with it. Now if you want to do it properly, you can weigh it and divide that by 4, but I'm not going to bother. You probably should if it's going to be gifts, because it just makes it nice and neat, but you can do it by eye as well. And they want to be about 30 centimetres in length and as even as you can all the way down in diameter. Right, I'm reasonably happy with those. So now you need to transfer these to your 2 lined baking trays. Now you want to bake these for around about 20 to 25 minutes initially. So I'm going to pop them in now and set the timer. So we've got about another minute left on the timer. You'll notice in the baking time I had a bit of a tidy up, and you might have also noticed that I never used the hand mixer. That should have been used the bit where you put the eggs in, but I'm a bit of a hands-on baker, so I just like to get stuck in. So that's why I never used that. Now the timer's going to go off any second now, and what you'll need to do as soon as you take those out of the oven is drop the heat down to 140 degrees And the reason we do this is because on the second bake of the biscotti, you need to dry it out rather than cook it, so it needs to be at a really low temperature. And the timer's gone off. So before I even take them out, I'm going to turn that right down, because the first time I made these, I didn't turn it down and I burnt them. So we transfer these to a wire rack just for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to cool down. And the reason we do this is because we're going to slice them for the second bake, and if we do it when they're straight out of the oven, they're too hot. So yeah, now I'm going to just check. They're still a little bit hot, so we'll just give them another second. The way to check that if they are done, because everyone's ovens vary, mine I know takes 25 minutes to get them looking like this. They just want to be hard on the top, but not solid, and still have some spring in them. So one at a time, what we're going to do is slice them diagonally and have them about 1 centimetre in thickness. So if you take a look in the middle, you can see, because we put everything in a hole, you get this fantastic cross section of all the fruit and nut inside. Now we're going to pop them back on the baking tray, but you want to put them on flat. Don't know if you can hear a little chomping sound. That's not me, that is my dog down here. Binky, getting at all the bits I've dropped. Binks. Bobo, stop it. Come on, dogs. Little treat, little treat. Sit down. Sit. Good dogs, Bobo, nicely. Binky, nicely. Good doggies. That's not me being overly anal. It is really important that you wash your hands, especially if you've just had your fingers really near a dog's mouth. So now they're ready to go back in the oven. Remember, make sure it's at 140 degrees. And you want to pop those in for about 10 to 15 minutes. It's best to put the timer on for the least amount of time to start with, because you can always leave them in a little bit longer. If you put it on for too long and you end up burning them, then you've ruined your biscotti for no reason whatsoever. You'll get some biscotti, Bink, don't you worry. Timer. Right, this should be totally done now. While it was baking, I did sneakily put it in for another 5 minutes because it wasn't quite brown. Don't forget to turn your oven off so you're not wasting electricity. And then you can see that they're absolutely gorgeously brown and they're really nice and crisp, and that is what you want from a biscotti. You'll need to leave those cooling for ages, like 20 minutes, half an hour. If you put them in a Tupperware box or whatever you're going to store them in and they're still warm, the steam will make them go soggy inside. So make sure they are nice and cool before you put them in. They'll last for an entire month in an airtight container or a cake tin, just something to keep the air out. But if you want them to last even longer, before you bake them for the second time, if you pop them in a Tupperware box, lunch box, whatever, and stick them in the fridge, you can keep them in the freezer, sorry. You can keep them in the freezer for 2 whole months before you'll need to bake them. So this is really good for Christmas gifts because you can do it way ahead of time and just finish them off for those 15 minutes at the end, the day before you need them, and then they'll be nice and fresh, and they smell amazing. I'm sure they're going to taste great too. I just need them to cool down so I can eat them. And there you have it, Christmas biscotti in around about an hour. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please subscribe. And if you want me to do anything differently, or there's a recipe you'd like to see me try, please write in the comments box below. Thank you very much. Taste test biscotti and Frenchies. Good dogs, nicely. Yay!